like a boss.
All right, people, this is Alex from Mindful Attraction, and today we're going to be talking about why you got to stop being the perfect girlfriend. You can never be the perfect girlfriend. I'm going to explain to you why, because sometimes trying to be the perfect girlfriend, oh yeah, it benefits me for the moment, right? But what tends to happen is that it makes you passive aggressive in the long run, and it makes you resentful. All right, so we're going to talk about that. By the way, people, this is something that I'm actually going to be talking about in my course, Natural Chemistry. And there's going to be a part about assertiveness and how to be assertive, which is a way to release a lot of the pent up aggressive energy that you have as a result of you labeling yourself as a perfect woman, right? Now look, this is a goddamn pimple, ladies and gentlemen. This is unbelievable, man. I cannot believe I got a pimple right here. It's like right there. It's like I was scared. I was like, oh no, like, but then it was just a simple pimple, so it'll go out like in 2 days. But have to be walking around with this. Anyways, right? But who cares, right? Ladies and gentlemen, look, man. When you try to be, this is why I say religious communities and spiritual communities repress people, because it causes you to repress your natural instincts. You see what I'm saying? You see what tends to happen when you try to be the perfect girlfriend, right, is that you tend to suppress your shadow, because there are natural instincts that are part of who you are that doesn't blend in with the perfect girlfriend, right? 1 second. Hello? Scams. So okay, where was I? Yeah, so everybody has a shadow. There's a certain part in my course about how to integrate your shadow into your relationships, right? And what tends to happen is that spiritual communities tend to repress your natural instincts. You see, it also another example is like collective cultures, like cultures in dictatorships, right? There's a lot of darkness in collectivist culture. As nice and as orderly as people seem to be on the outside, it tends to create an effect where it increases and thickens the collective shadow of people, right? That's why you have a lot of rebellion. That's why you have a lot of wars and stuff like that, right? So what you got to realize is that when you try to be the perfect girlfriend, what does it mean being a perfect girlfriend? It means that you're always making him happy. It means that you're always smiling. It means that you have no flaws, right? And what tends to happen is that then your flaws, you try to hide it, or you try to lie. It's kind of like politicians, right? How politicians who get involved in scandals, right? The more perfect a politician appears to be, the more fucked upness there is, because nobody is perfect. See what I'm saying? So what tends to happen is that when you try to be that girl, ironically, it tends to take away your multidimensionality, like. Because when you try to be a perfect person, what tends to happen is that you become a two-dimensional person, a two-dimensional version of who you are, right? It's your shadow that gives you volume. It's your shadow it's the contours of your shadow is what allows people to see your full character. You see, the most famous people, the most powerful people in the world, and who are most charismatic, have integrated their shadows into their personality, into their public persona, because you have two different identities inside of you. You have your ego, which is what you present to the world. I'm a perfect person. And then you have your inner shadow, which is sometimes the opposite of the ego that you try to put out. So what will happen in relationships is that when something bad happens in your head, rather than trying to react to the event that in an appropriate way, you limit yourself. You're literally just embracing the other extreme of your personality, which is the goodness, right? But then you also have another extreme, which is your shadow, and the mid-tones of your personality, which is in the middle, which could be a little controversial. Right? What you want to do is not just embrace the really fucked up part of your shadow, because those things have a lot of dark fantasies. What you want to embrace is the mid-range of your personality, right? For example, like an example would be, let me see an example, like Eminem, right? Eminem, he's a rapper, but guess what? He embraces his shadow, and it's his shadow side that makes him so unique. When you think of Rihanna, right? You see Rihanna looking all stuff and and angry and stuff like that, and you could tell that there's like a boundary that you cannot cross. The same thing with Beyonce, the same thing with the most famous people. You'll notice that, right? And what's funny is that, don't you notice how when you watch Maury or when you watch like Divorce Court, usually the fucked up women have like the best boyfriends, like the evil bitches have like the most faithful boyfriends. Don't you wonder why? Isn't it crazy how the evil bitches get the nice ones and then the really nice ones get the evil motherfuckers? It's because your good shadow, your goodness, your angelicness tends to attract predators. You see what I'm saying? It tends to attract, it's a smell that people, that predators just enjoy. On the other hand, when you just embrace your goodness, then the predators come. When you embrace your shadow, what tends to happen is that now you have, the shadow is what attracts the nice guys. You see what I'm saying? It's the shadow, the coldness, what attracts the nice guys. It makes them insecure. So what you want to do is embrace your faults, is embrace the parts of you that you don't consider to be good. You know? Now, I don't want you to be like to be banging the whole goddamn football team. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is, if you're gonna do something, do it in the quiet. Don't suppress it. Just do it, but don't let yourself get found out. If you feel moments of clear injustice, right? These are some exercises for you to do, right? Don't be banging the whole goddamn football team, people. Exercises in assertiveness allows you to release your shadow. For example, moments of clear injustice, moments when you know you're right, okay? Moments when you know that somebody did you wrong. You want to embrace it and learn to speak about it, right? Other things that you could do is observe moments of anger. And when you feel angry, observe the fantasies that come out of your anger. What do you wish this person to happen? You know what I'm saying? Notice a side of you that usually notice the parts of you that you usually gravitate when there's an argument, right? Like for example, notice the sides that you usually take. Okay, like for example, when I watch Divorce Court, I'm always rooting for the guy to not be the father, right? That's a part of my shadow right there, right? I mean, if I don't notice it, I clearly see that there's a bias for women in that part of me, right? Notice the kind of gossip and the kind of news that you sort of gravitate towards, the parts that you have kind of like an evil pleasure. For example, when I was a little kid, like it's fucked up, right? But there was a kid that I hated. And when no one was around, I used to just punch him in the arm. And I got caught one time, right? But for some reason, I just disliked that kid, right? And that's not a normal part of my personality. What you want to do is notice it and ask yourself, where is it coming out in my life? Because by simply bringing awareness to your shadow, to the hidden fantasies that you have, to the hidden desires, to the hidden resentments, it's there's something about it that it just becomes integrated into who you are, because it's not unconscious no more. Right. And other things that you could do is kind of like notice the exaggerated feelings you have about other people. Like I hate, I don't know, like I hate black people. Let's just say you have that, right? Observe that, or notice, or like how Joe Budden used to have his daughter checked because he wanted to make sure that she's a virgin, right? Like extreme possessiveness, right? You ask yourself, how do I see that part of me in other parts of my life, right? Or your passive aggression, when people usually do you wrong, but you just stay quiet. What do you say in your head when there's clear injustice and you don't say nothing? What happens? Like observe those little things, because the more perfect you try to be, the more toxic the relationship would be, because you will eventually, when his shadow comes out, you'll just become a little bit more quiet. Sometimes it's a reflection of how you were raised, how when your father's or mother's shadow came out in moments of clear injustice and you just took it because you sort of didn't want to believe that your father and mother were that evil. So you assumed the responsibility. So you become guilty. And if you don't notice it over your whole life, it'll become a pattern. And it was ironic about it is that by simply noticing the pattern, which is difficult for a lot of people because some people have very thick shadows, by simply noticing the pattern, it sort of becomes integrated slowly into your personality. You know, an example of that is Shalyn Lester, right? I really do enjoy her. Like Shalyn Lester is a great example, because you can sense some evil. And you're like, I know she's laughing, but like, I don't know about that. Like, she's an evil motherfucker. I would, please don't leave me alone with her, right? No, I'm kidding, right? But you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like for example, like the weak evil month where her and she had like a knife, and she was like, with the knife, I'm like, look, people, I know that's a joke, but there's always a certain element of truth behind everything people do. You see what I'm saying? Like, or notice the things that you are embarrassed about, moments of humiliation, right? Like, for example, a part of my shadow was when I was younger, I used to experiment to see what people liked and what people didn't like, right? For example, one of the things I experimented with was dressing like shit on a date and to see whether or not that made a difference, right? And it's funny, ladies, is that at that age, it didn't make a difference, right? Another thing will be accents. I used to change up the accent just to see what will make it different. It wouldn't make a difference because then people noticed that it wasn't my accent, right? Like I used to try the British accent because I used to be very interested in different accents, right? So I tried it, but I didn't realize that people talk, and you don't want that kind of talking about you because then you look really fake, right? It didn't work out. But what was the shadow behind that? It was more out of a desire to not be who you are, right? And it's as embarrassing as that is, it's a part that most people will suppress and will not even try to think about, right? But that's part, like, moments of embarrassment and shame are things you want to explore, and you want to ask yourself, how do I see that in my life now? You see what I'm saying? And those things, and what happens is that when you embrace it, even though it's something that you don't want to do, there's power behind that because then you become comfortable. Those are moments of embarrassment, moments of shame that sort of run in the background, almost as though the sounds of the refrigerator just getting turned off, and then you realize you thought the place was quiet, but as soon as the refrigerator turns off, you realize it wasn't really quiet. There was noise. You were just so accustomed to it that it just ran in the background like static, right? So what does it do? To be honest with you, I have no real concrete evidence that what happens when you observe those dark shadow, like those moments of embarrassment, when you just release it by just becoming aware of it and thinking of it as much as possible and try to laugh at it and embrace it. But by doing that, I don't know, there's just something about it. I'm not going to act like I know everything, you know what I'm saying? But there's something about it that you just become more comfortable. You don't have as many triggers anymore. You see, I'm like, it doesn't trigger you anymore, right? It doesn't trigger embarrassment in your head, right? Moments of embarrassment, moments of things that you always get unintended consequences. For example, you're always trying to be late, always trying to be on time, but you're always late. Clearly, there's a part of you that you cannot control, that's controlling you, right? So you want to observe that part of you that's always late. Why are you always late to things? Is it a sense of superiority? Because when moments that you have to be on time, you're always on time. But for some reason, when it comes to that thing, you're always late. What's the feeling of superiority behind that? Because there is a feeling of superiority behind things that you're always late. You're never late to work, but you're late to your friends' meetings. There is something there, right? You may not notice it, your friend may not notice it, but what you want to do is observe it, because if you don't notice it, these are things that will just continue happening, and what's going to happen is that eventually you're going to get the wrong consequence. You see what I'm saying? What I'm trying to do is that the more imperfect you are as a partner, not in a toxic way, but the more you allow your flaws to flourish in your relationships, the more healthy it'll be. And how can I say this? It's something that I can't really put into words. But there's a magnetic element to people who have people who have clear flaws. You see what I'm saying? These are things that I'm going to talk about in the shadow section. I actually just made those notes yesterday, right? So if you want to get, because I have an early bird discount with bonuses for the first 30 people who purchase the course, where if you get it, you'll get 2 bonuses, whereas my free ebook, a free audiobook, and a complete course on presence and how to improve charisma. A complete course for free for the first 30 people. All right, it's an audio course. You guys will really like it if you check it out. All right. Only for the first 30 people. So if you want to, click on the link below to be in the VIP in the VIP waiting list, because again, it's only for the first 30 people, and you get an additional discount because I'm releasing it in February 1st. But for the people on the list, I'm gonna give them a chance to sign up first. All right, all right. And if you're on the list, you're gonna get a discount. So that's the only way for you to get the discount, because once it goes up naturally to everyone, there's no goddamn discount. All right, people. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and peace out. All right, ladies. So this is the course that all of you guys have been asking me for, and it's the psychological game of attraction. This is pretty much the course that will make any man beg to want to commit with you. This is the course that I wish, I'll be honest with you, if I was a woman, This is the kind of course that I want because it's a course that's specifically geared to help you understand how guys fall in love and how to do it in a systematic way that's almost predictable, right? So let me show you guys how this course is set up. By the way, there's a 30-day money back guaranteed on this course. So if you guys don't like it, you guys will get money back. Look, let me show you how it's done, right? So it's split up in a few sections. The first section is the introduction, obviously, what to expect from it. After that is I'm giving you an understanding of the psychology of attraction, right? Because you need to understand that dating is a game. You need to think strategically, that there are certain laws of human nature that you cannot break, and just a few things of why people love each other. You know, it's very important to have a realistic expectation. After that, we go into the three phases of every relationship. They all go in these three phases, and these phases could overlap each other at times, right? The first phase is the pre-honeymoon period. It is when you first know the person, or it is when you're becoming acquaintance with the guy, or it is when you guys broke up and are back together, or it is when you guys had a long period of you guys not knowing each other and now you guys want to rekindle things. This works in any point of the relationship that you need to spark interest and curiosity. So these videos are specific for that. Specific to create curiosity, how to get to know the guy the right way, using your non-verbals, how to create a powerful reputation. It's truly powerful stuff. After that is the honeymoon period. This honeymoon period is how to get from curiosity to interest to creating a deep connection. So all of these videos are specifically geared to that. Not the 30, no. These specific videos are there for this phase, and this phase is any phase. You guys are having a good, happy moment. You guys just got back together, and now you feel that peak. You feel that happiness that you guys felt. That's what this is, right? So these videos are there for that, creating a lonely fantasy, the preemptive breakup, the triangle of love, using words to control his man. It's powerful stuff. After that is the post-honeymoon period, and again, is a short list of videos because these videos are there to solidify the connection that you already created. So if you just had an incredible moment, or you just came out of a vacation with a guy and everything went well, you better use this phase, because if you don't do this, he's going to become disenchanted. It's just how it is. These are very specific videos, and all you got to do is just say, all right, where am I? I tell you where you guys are, and you just watch the video. It's pretty much like being coached by me. You got some bonus videos, stop being nice, dealing with the inevitable, how to deal with breakup, how to deal with getting over a dude. This is the how to overcome manipulation, identifying manipulation, deterring manipulation, defending yourself against manipulation, what to do if you're already in a manipulative relationship, and how to avoid them through detachment. It's pretty much an extremely succinct and laser focused course. Not one waste of motion. That's why I love it. And there's a 30-day money back guarantee if you guys don't like it. No questions asked, people. All right. And if you guys want to support this channel, this is how you support it. And I hope you guys enjoy this. All right. See you guys inside.